everyone, Arlene here. Welcome back to my Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you and welcome back to Q&A Monday. I hope y'all had a great weekend. It has been kind of, well, right now today it is Friday and it's raining and yucky and I've got all the lights on everywhere so that hopefully y'all can see me and what's behind me okay. But it's been pretty crazy around here today, just yucky, rainy, and bleh. So I thought, what better day to do my Q&A than this afternoon. Now I wanted to tell you that I did pick, my very last couple of questions are from questions that I pulled off of today's video, well, today's and yesterday's video. And if I have missed anyone, please, please, please bash me over the head. Say, Arlene, you forgot my question, and I will definitely get to it next week. Poor Phyllis. I'm so sorry, Phyllis. I missed her question totally last week. As hard as I try, you guys, as hard as I try, there are some comments that I miss, and I am diligent. I mean diligent at looking at my comments and reading them all and trying to respond. And there are just times when I'm not in a place. Sometimes I'll look at them on my phone, and I keep my questions on my sticky notes on my laptop, and I put them in my notes on my phone and forget to transfer them over to. I am not a scatterbrained person, I promise you that. I really am not, but I have a lot going on and I'm not making any excuses. I apologize profusely. So I'm going to say that straight up front. I apologize profusely if I have forgotten your question. So please, please, please ask it again, and I promise you I will get to it, just as I'm going to be getting to Phyllis's in this group of questions. I have 20 questions, I believe, 20 questions today. And there are questions within questions, so I'm going to go ahead and dive right in and get started here. And first of all, thank you guys so much for all your questions, and do keep them coming. I am going to have to probably take 1 week off coming up because of all the Easter decor and other things I've got going on in my life, that I'm only going to be able to do so many videos per week. So we're going to probably take a week off, but I'll give you a warning when I'm doing my last Q&A, and then we'll take a week off and then we'll start up again, and I will give you a reminder of that. So anyway, regardless, let's get started. Here we go. Number 1, Tammy Osborne. What would you say is yours and Chris's best attributes as a couple? Well, that's a good question, Tammy. I'm telling you, I think we share a brain sometimes. We've been married for a very, very, very long time. And for me, I found my soulmate. I really did. And I think for him too. You know, I'm not sure that men ever really come out and say something like that. But our marriage has just grown and grown and gotten better and better through the years, honestly. So what is our best attribute as a couple? I would say we bring a lot of good things together just because we're both pretty crafty. If something needs to be fixed, Chris can fix it. If something needs to be created, I can help create it. So I think in that way, we make a really good team. Especially here in the house, we really work well together. We communicate well when it comes to that. We always communicate well, though. We always do. That's, I think that's the cornerstone of a good marriage, honestly, is good communication skills. Always keep those lines of communication open. Don't hold things in because they just fester, You hold things in and they fester and you get mad, and then you hold them in some more and you get more mad, and then all of a sudden you're just like, rah! Well, that doesn't happen much here. When we were first married, it might have happened once or twice with me. Because you never want to rock the boat. I'm one of those people that never wants to rock the boat, yet I know that keeping the lines of communication open is a good thing. So we have really good communication skills. We're very much in love. So it's always, so I guess those are some of our best attributes as a couple. And one for Chris, if he doesn't mind. What would he say is his favorite part about being retired? And I did ask him that, and he did tell me, he said, to be able to control his own time, to be able to do exactly what he wants to do in a day. I mean, that man will do more than you or I would probably do by the time 8 o'clock in the morning runs around, honest to goodness. He is a very early riser and he always is busy. He never stops. You think I'm the Energizer Bunny? He makes me look like I'm standing still sometimes, you guys. He goes, and just, you know, this project and that project, and he's always creating something. He's always doing something new. He's always fixing something. You know, he's just full of energy, full of energy. So he really enjoys just doing whatever he wants to do on his own time frame instead of having to fit everything in, you know, on the weekend. I've got my fidget spinner. Sorry, I do fidget, so I'm trying to stop that. I know one of you said, we love you as you are, and I love you too. It's just that I couldn't keep my fans off my face, you guys. So it was just driving me crazy. I can only imagine it drove some of y'all crazy. But anyway, that's his favorite part of being retired, I believe, is that his time is his own now. He's not beholden to anybody, you know, and he used to drive an hour 15 minutes to work one way and then back home again in the evening. So it was quite a trek for him. So it's, you know, what a relief, you know. So, and then you ask what my favorite part about him being retired is. Now, I would be a fibber if I said that it was not something to get used to. I have been a housewife for 35 years, you know, for 34 or 35 years when he retired. And, you know, I was used to having my own time to myself and doing my own thing whenever I wanted, not have somebody walking through here at all times of the day, you know. And I was always very structured. I was never one of, as I've mentioned before, that I don't really turn on my TV during the day. I'm not one to sit on my laurels. I create, I decorate, I do, you know, I'm never one to just sit around and do nothing. So it wasn't that. It was just, it took me a while to get used to having him walking in and out all the time and walking through and coming out. But you know, the positives are that, and these are my favorite things, that he's here all the time, and I miss him when he's gone. It's awful. I miss him when he's gone now, and I'm used to him being around. And you know, of course, it's, you know, when you think about the practicality of it too. Hey, honey, can you bring me up that Ben or something like that? Of course, he, you know, I'll give him a honeydew here or there. Bless his heart, that's what he calls them. You know, and he graciously does it for me all the time. He's so sweet. You know, so. But I guess just having him here with me and having him, you know, we always said when we first, that's why we sold our Kia. We said when he first retired, oh, I'll still go my way and you'll still go your way and we'll come back for dinner and that'll be it. Well, that's not the way it's worked out. We tend to go out each day for a little while, whether that's to lunch or not, but at least to go do a couple errands. Sometimes we just take a ride together just to spend some time together and connect. And then when we get home, that's when we separate and I go and do my videos and he goes to his shop or he goes to whatever he's working on outside or who knows what he's gotten himself into. And you all know what I get myself into because I'm right there with you guys. So that's my favorite part, is having him here and knowing that he's right here with me all the time. I'm not gonna cry. My heart, you guys, he's my heart. Okay, that was number 1. That took 9 minutes. Gee whiz. All right, number 2, Letitia S. My question is, how many kids do you have and do they live there with you? And do you have any traditions with your kids that you do? We have 2 children. Kristen is our oldest and 2 girls. Candace is our youngest, and they do not live here with us. They're up and grown and out of the house. Kristen is a teacher, kindergarten teacher, and Candace works for her boyfriend's electric company as a project manager. And our traditions run very deep in our household. We've always had our many traditions. We come together for all holidays usually, and then sometimes in between, like in the summertime, there's the 4th of July, but there's really not a lot of holidays, you know, so we'll come together for a cookout here or there. Candace lives further away from us than Kristen does, so we see Kristen pretty much every weekend. She only lives about a half an hour away. Candace, on the other hand, lives an hour and a half away, hour and 45 minutes, and they are renovating a house right now. So they've, you know, their time is precious on the weekends, you know. We did go visit with them last weekend, had a wonderful time with them, went to lunch and spent several hours with them and saw what they're doing to their renovations, and they're wonderful. So we, you know, If they can't come to us, we go to them. But traditions are, you know, we have a lot of traditions, a lot of, you know, when we put the Christmas tree up and what we do together and what we eat, you know, the same things they want to eat when they come over because that's their favorite food and that kind of thing. So lots and lots and lots of family traditions. Very strong in traditions, very, very strong. Big, big deal in this house. So thank you for that. And thank you, Tammy, for the first question. I'm sorry, I don't think I thanked you, so thank you both. Okay, number 3, Katrina Drinkman. I know you were an only child. Does Chris have siblings, and does his family live close by? Yes, Chris does have an older brother. And no, his parents live about 2 hours away. His parents live closer to where my parents lived and where I grew up than we live to them where we live. So, yeah. That was an easy one, Katrina. My goodness. Not even a minute for that. Okay, number 4, Marie. How far in advance do you prepare to decorate for each season or holiday? Pretty far in advance. I'll tell you though, not as far. I start out. Let me see if I can wrap my brain around this one. I start further ahead of time now that I'm doing videos for you guys. I definitely start earlier than I used to. I used to be able to get my, let's say my fall decorating. I could do that probably in a week. You know, if I worked steady and wasn't worrying about a camera and talking and explaining and creating and editing and, you know, all of that stuff that goes along with being a creator on YouTube, you know, so I could probably do it in a week, whereas it takes me about 3 weeks now, as you guys know. It takes me about 3 weeks, definitely, at least 3 weeks to get myself decorated. For instance, with my fall decor, I started probably around the last week in August, somewhere in there, and I didn't finish till like about mid-September. So it took me about 3 weeks to do it, and that was working steady. And I actually scheduled some videos to go up because we were in Alaska for part of that time. So, you know, I really worked hard to get that fall decor up. Then my Christmas decor, I'm trying to think, started November the 1st, right around the 1st of November. If I remember right, Thanksgiving I felt like it was coming earlier in the month. You know, it's always the third Thursday in the month here in the United States of November. But I always like to get that done before Thanksgiving because we put our Christmas tree up, the big tree in the family room up on Thanksgiving night with my dad and the kids and everything. Tradition, one of those traditions. So it took me a good 3 weeks. But again, let me preface this by saying, or let me end this by saying that I start earlier now than I used to before I had my YouTube channel. But I've always given myself a good amount of time, you know, though, to get it done. I don't like to be rushed in my decorating. The creative process for me, you know, sometimes can be a little bit slower, you know, and I'm picky. I'm really picky and very symmetrical, and, you know, all that stuff goes into needing a little bit more time, you know. So I try to take my time and do it. So I hope that answered your question, Marie. Thank you so much for asking one. Marie is one of my first viewers at all my videos. Bless her heart. Bless your heart, Marie. You and your sweet daughter, you two girls. Ah, awesome. All right, number 5, Paula Love. If someone wanted to help by donating to a kindergarten class, what would she suggest? I'm thinking you were talking about Kristen. Things that she routinely runs out of are snacks for the kids. She gives them like little goldfish and little Dixie cups. So Dixie cups, you know, like a bulk thing of like, you know, like goldfish or something like that for a snack, a healthy snack, you know, well, not that goldfish are that healthy, but not candy. Tissues, Clorox wipes, glue sticks, extra pencils, I'm trying to think, just stuff like that. Some crayons, extra crayons, colored pencils maybe, you know, things that scissors, little kindergarten scissors, not the sharp ones, you know, but the ones with the curvy edges, stuff like that, I would say, you know. And I bet you there are plenty of you moms out there who did what I did, and I always sent in extra when I would send my girls with their, you know, with their first day of school stuff. I'd stick in an extra box of tissues, I'd stick in extra pencils and extra glue sticks, and with a note to the teacher that said, hey, please put these somewhere where you can use them later in the year, and you have them. Kristen is forever, the kids are forever losing their little glue sticks, and Kristen's always having to give them another, that kind of thing. So it's nice for the teacher to have like a stash. So good question. Thank you so much, Paula, for that one. Goodness. All right, number 6, Carrie Carg. Chris, ever thought about having a vegetable garden? Also, do you have plans of finishing your basement and having like rooms or livable spaces down there? Chris has had a vegetable garden before. He's grown squash and cucumbers and tomatoes. Usually he grows the tomatoes on the patio though. Our soil isn't the best quite yet. It's a pretty new house, and I think he needs to work with the soil a little bit more. He grew some nice stuff, but it's not something that he likes his flower gardens. More than he does like tending to a vegetable garden. So I did ask him, and that's what he said. So there you go. And yes, we are planning on finishing off part of the basement. Chris is actually working on it now. He's working on putting in a bathroom down there. We are going to have a rec room, or like a family room, an extra family room, that'll have a TV and couch and chair and, comfortable room. A kitchen eating area and a little kitchenette, like with a smaller refrigerator and a microwave and maybe a stove, and some countertops, something like that. And then a bathroom and a bedroom down there. So yeah, we're planning on having just a little something down there. So when people come to visit, they can even fix their own breakfast down there if they want to, something like that. Or Lord forbid, a family member needs to come and stay with us or whatever, that they'll have, plenty of space and their own space. So yes, we are definitely that's in the works as we speak. Slowly, but it's in the works, So Carrie, thank you for those questions. They were good ones. Okay, number 7, Teresa Myers. What is the new tree I see in your living room bay window? That one right there. That's my ficus that's always there and moves over here to this corner. I'm in the dining room. For those of you who don't know, I'm sitting at my dining room table, at the end of my dining room table, with the hutch in front of me. And this is the foyer, obviously. And then that is the living room, formal living room. Family room is that way. Kitchen is that way. And the other one is a gardenia. And Chris brings it inside in the wintertime. Usually it sits out on the patio. And it blooms and smells. Oh, it smells like heaven, I'm telling you. But it doesn't like it in the cold weather, so he brings it and puts it in the bay window so it gets good light in there. So that's a gardenia. It freaks out. When it first comes in, it's like, no, I don't want to be in here. And it's like loses the sleeves, and it's like, it gets a little sick there for a minute. But then it recovers, and it's doing fine now. So yep, that's it. That ficus, I'm not kidding you guys, that ficus is probably 25 years old. That thing is resilient. What can I say? But that's it, Teresa. Thank you for that. Okay, number 8. Boy, I'm kind of zipping through this. Well, 20 minutes. I'm not zipping that fast, am I? Considering I have 20 questions. Liz at 4 Seasons Media. Hi, sweetie. I'll tell you guys before I say one more word, go and check out 4 Seasons Media YouTube channel. This is Liz, and she does a beautiful work. Beautiful work. She has a beautiful YouTube channel. Shout out, shout out, shout out to 4 Seasons Media. Go check her out, you guys. If I can remember to put a link in the description, I will. Liz, if I forget that, punch me one, would you, girl, and tell me, hey. I did want to give you a shout out though, girl. You do lovely work. Boy, I'm telling you, I got done doing my hearth the other day. I'm telling you guys, I'm taking the weekend, and I'm going to at least take one day and not do anything. I am tuckered out. Really tuckered out. I did the hearth video, and at the beginning of that video, I look at myself and I'm like, oh my land, I look like I'm ready to go take a nap somewhere. I look so tired. So, and I think something's trying to get me in my throat. I just had a coughing fit. Look at my eyes. They're watering. I wasn't crying. I was tearing up. I'm having a coughing fit. Sorry about that. All right, Miss Liz, let's go here. Have you ever been out and about and had a stranger recognize you from your videos? She says, I've had that happen to me several times, and you have way more followers. So I'm curious if that has happened to you as well. Yeah, it has. Freaked me out the first time. Oh my goodness, I was thrilled. I saw one at Home Goods. I don't want to shout out your names, just in case you'd rather me not. But I saw one at Home Goods, and I saw, another day I saw one at Hobby Lobby. And then apparently, I didn't see them, but sisters were in Michael's walking around one day and said they saw me, but they were too nervous to come up and say hi to me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, girls. Anybody, if there's anybody out there, whoever does see me out and about, you better come up and say hi to me and poke me in the back and say, hey, Orlin, is that you? And you and I will have a nice little chat, but don't ever be afraid to, oh my goodness, I'm nobody special, and I'm just a normal person out there trying to, find something to decorate my house with, just like you are. It just so happens I'm on YouTube and I talk about it all the time. But yeah, isn't that something? That's a cool feeling. It freaked me out. I was like, yeah, I'm Orlin. Oh my goodness, that was kind of cool. Made me feel pretty good. I will admit. That was kind of cool. Okay, number 9. Thank you for that, Liz. Number 9 is from Mimi G, 2002. I do have another question, although it may be better directed to Chris. I am looking to add some shelves to my garage, and my 2 sons each have a different answer, so perhaps he can be the tiebreaker. Metal shelves or wire shelves? I will be storing mostly tubs of Christmas items, plus setting up a backup pantry as mine is so tiny. And, this is the big one, some dishes. I'm a dish junkie, so am I, and do not have the kitchen cabinets that you have, and if I could get them out of their boxes, I think I would rotate them more often. I did ask Chris about this, and he said, regardless of the type of shelving you end up getting, he said the most important thing is how much weight per shelf they can hold. He says for the type of material you're talking about, especially the dishes, you'd probably want something that would hold at least 500 pounds per shelf. So there you go. I can show you a picture of the shelves that Chris just put me in the garage, and they would definitely hold dishes. I think he said they held 700 pounds. Did I write that down? I think he said they hold like 700 pounds a piece. So, and I just have my crafting stuff out there, but some of it is pretty heavy. And he's tacked them to the wall to make sure that they do not move. He has made sure that they do not tilt forward or even sway. They are sturdy, sturdy shelves. So I'll see if I can. So there you go. I hope that helps. Oh, you had another question, sorry. You said, and one more for you. Is your name a family name, a combination of 2 names, or question mark? Well, we can thank my mom for my name. I don't know exactly. The story she told me was that she knew a girl that knew her brother named Ira Lynn, I-R-A-L-Y-N-N. And she didn't like the Ira part, so she picked A-R, R. Lynn. She wanted me to have something different, well, she succeeded there. And I was almost an Allison, but she didn't like that as much as Arlene. She wanted me to have, a different, and she thought, pretty name. So it's been different, and people have a hard time pronouncing it. And that's why I always say, hi everyone, Arlene here. Because a lot of people, Arlen or Arlene or Arlena, or oh my gracious, I've had all kinds of versions of Arlene. And the accent is on the Lynn, Arlene, so. My mom, it was my mama. So I don't think, it's not a family name, no. Just something she came up with. Okay, thank you for that, Mimi. I hope that answered both your questions. All right, next is from Shana or Shanna. I had a little girl in our color guard when my girls were in marching band, and her name was spelled like this, and she pronounced it Shayna. So I don't know whether you're Shanna or Shayna, but regardless, Shayna Houston asks, I have a question about your camera that you use when traveling. What is it? How do you pack it? And what is the huge lens you use? Also, what do you use the small camera for? Thank you for your answers in advance. I have two camera bodies that we take to Alaska, especially with us, when we travel. And one is a EOS 5D Mark II, and that is the camera that I use, the camera body that I use. And then Chris's is a EOS 5D Mark III, and that's the newer version, right? Okay. We have two zoom lenses. One is 28-300, and the other one is 100-400 millimeters. Don't ask me what that means. I don't know. And Chris won't come on camera to tell us. So we're not going to worry about that, but they are definitely zoom lens and they do a beautiful job. And I will put some pictures right here of our last trip to Alaska so that you can see a beautiful calving event at Marjorie Glacier in Glacier Bay that Chris caught with this lens. Amazing pictures right here. This is the lens I use like for when I take pictures of my decor or pictures of the house or pictures just kind of the dogs, you know, or just around the house. And it is a 24-105 millimeter. And again, I don't know what that means, but this is like my go-to lens all the time and what I keep on the camera at all times. So Chris carries the camera and the lenses on his back in a specially made backpack that I don't have out here because it's full of other lenses and things like that. He also has a wide angle lens. He's got many lenses and he has been collecting for over a decade, you guys. I mean, this isn't just something that just poof, 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 we want cameras and there we go. No. A long time ago for our first trip to Alaska is when he bought his first kind of zoom lens. And so, you know, it's been a long time in the making, this little collection that we have here, and I'm very grateful that we do have it. But he has especially, and I'll get you a link if he'll get me one, for the backpack that he uses, and he carries it on his back, like I say, and it never leaves his side. No. Regarding the little camera, this is it. This is a Canon G7X. And I use this camera sometimes for my videoing, for my YouTube. This has a nice little screen on the back, and you can also lift it right up like that. And it is a lovely little camera, and this has great sound quality, and it takes a beautiful video. The only problem that I have with this is I haven't figured out, and I'm sure there's a setting on it, but I haven't figured out how, you know how I'm always putting stuff up to the camera and you can see my finger, you know, kind of goes into focus. This one sometimes does it, sometimes doesn't, most of the time doesn't, and it drives me crazy. So, but I take a lot of video, like when I'm on vacation and stuff, this is my go-to for my videoing. And I usually hang this, put this on a lanyard, and this hangs around my neck during our vacations for when we go on excursions. If I don't have any place to put my phone, I'll just carry my camera, you know. So that's it. This was no little cheap thing either. And this is what Chris bought me when I really started getting into my videoing and also to go to Alaska with. This is a nice little go-to camera for that type of thing. Really and truly. Lovely little camera. Takes a beautiful picture. Beautiful picture. All of these do though. So, but there we go. That's our little camera collection there. My computer just went off. Sorry. So I hope that answered your question, Shanna. Thank you for them. Okay, on to number 11. Did I do okay? Okay, hang on before I go further. Chris just came in and gave me a little correction. It's instead of EOS 5D Mark II or 3, it is EOS. Apparently it's a little word that you say, EOS. A Canon EOS 5D, what is it? Mark II or Mark III. Correcting myself. Okay, moving on. Let's see, Addie. Hey, Addie. Addie Domino, number 11. Number 1, have you ever hired an interior decorator? And number 2, have you shopped at thrift stores? And if so, have you purchased any furniture and refurbished those items for your home? No and no. Addie, no, we've never hired an interior decorator. Never could afford one, honestly, and never really had the desire to do so either, just because we've always kind of did our own interior design. Not that it would be as good as, a professional interior design. I'm always forever saying I'm no professional, I'm no professional, and don't ever tout to be, and claim to be an interior designer. But no, never have, and probably never will hire one. And have I shopped at thrift stores? I do shop at thrift stores some, but if I was going to refurbish something, I would choose a piece of furniture that my grandmother handed down to me instead of buying a piece of furniture. I've got enough furniture to fill this house, and then I've got some downstairs to fill another. I'm just kidding. I do have like a table and chairs, and I have other things, downstairs that I don't need any more furniture. I don't need any more pieces of furniture, so therefore I don't refurbish it. Now I do have a set of furniture up in the purple room that is a vintage 1980s that I wouldn't mind maybe trying chalk paint on sometime, but I don't paint, so it would have to be Chris trying the chalk paint, and I can't talk him into that quite yet. So he's got enough other projects to do. So that's not something that I really enjoy doing. Sorry. Here I go again. Full disclosure and honest as can be in my Q&A. Not that I'm not all the time. I am all the time. But when you ask me specific questions, like that, I've got to be honest and say, no, that's not something that that I have a desire to do. Sorry. What type of battery? Addie, I'm not sure if you asked this or if somebody else did, and I don't have the name. And if you asked me this and I don't have your name, I'm really, really, really sorry. What type of batteries do you use in your candles with timers? Usually Duracell, or I think it's Berkeley and Jensen is what BJ sells. We usually will wait till we have a coupon for them and whatever is on sale. I did try to buy them from the dollar store once or twice, and they didn't last very long. So maybe I just had a bad batch, but I just don't go that way for batteries. And so normally we get them at BJ's when they're on sale, like I say, Duracell or and my big candles, like my Luminara candles and my big lanterns, they take D cell. So they're no cheap things, And then I have a couple others that take C cell. So basically I use D now and again, but the D cells and my big candles, they last for like a year. I mean, they last a long time. Of course, I have them coming on just for 6 hours a day, so it's not like they're constantly on. But I use D cell in those, and then D cell, C cell, double A's are in mostly everything, like all my mini lights and my fairy lights, all those take double A's. And then there are some candles I have that take triple A batteries. So. Oh, also too, I have some little votive candles that take the little, what are they, 20, 32, 30, 32, whatever those dumb things are. Chris got a whole bunch of them off of Amazon in bulk. So I've got a bunch of those sitting around now because I do go through them. But that's that question. And Addie, if you answered it, I hope that answered you, or asked it, I hope that answered you. And if somebody else asked it, I hope that answered you. I'm sorry, I don't remember that one. Okay, number 12, Laura Sneed. How far away does your dad live, and how often is he able to visit? He lives about an hour and a half away, and he visits a good bit, 3-4 times a year, I guess, and we visit him. So like we did this past week, we went up and grabbed him and Stacy and her mom and dad, and we all went out to lunch, and we'll do that. And he comes down usually Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then in the summertime, but he's a gadabout. He's traveling around, and he goes to like he's going to the Big Ten, what is it? The Big, whatever it's going to be at Madison Square Garden at the end of the month here. He's going up to that, and he's going to Florida for a couple of weeks. Then he goes out to San Diego for a couple of weeks to play golf. He's an avid golfer. And he is 82 years old, but he still walks and carries his clubs and is a scratch golfer. And for those of you who don't know what that means he doesn't carry a handicap. That means he plays well enough to hit par or under par every time he plays. He doesn't need to carry a handicap. He's awesome. He is awesome. He is 80. I told him the other day, I said, 82 is the new 62, Dad, or 52. He's in great shape. Great shape. I'm blessed, I'm telling you, to have him. So anyway, he visits here and we visit him. So it goes both ways. So, but we see him a good many times during the year. So when one of us isn't traveling, Okay, Phyllis. I'm going to answer your question, honey, finally, number 13. Lucky 13, girlfriend. Phyllis's question is, your skin always looks so radiant. So I was curious if you have a nightly routine, and if so, could you share? Full disclosure, there are nights that, like the old lady I'm getting to be, I fall asleep in my chair and go to bed and go brush my teeth. I do get my teeth brushed every night. But there are nights that I don't remove my makeup. So I just wanted to say that sometimes, and that's not good. Don't do that, girls. Don't do that, because that's not good for your pores. But I did gather some products here that I wanted to show you. I use Clinique. I've used Clinique for the last 35 years. And I don't know that I look radiant, but it does, I think because I'm a chunky bunky, I think that fills in my little wrinkles. See, I'm getting some wrinkles here. Well, these are kind of my dimplies. But I have some crow's feet happening, and I'm looking, sometimes I look tired in the eyes, and I can see that that's kind of age coming on, kids. I'm 56. It's coming on. Yeah, it's okay. They're my wisdom lines. That's what I call them. My wisdom lines. So every night, when I do it, I use liquid face soap from Clinique. And I wash my face with warm soapy water. Pat it dry. I don't wipe. Pat. Pat, pat. Don't wipe that skin. Pat. And then I use a cleanser. And I do have a makeup remover too. Take the day off for, like your eye, when you wear like waterproof eye mascara or liner, stuff like that, or, shadow, I'll use some makeup remover. I did not, I grabbed two of the same things. I'm sorry, girls. I don't have my, I use for crying out loud, what's it called? An astringent kind of thing that I take over my face too, just to clean out those pores, And then I will always, I use this for even better dark spot corrector, and it's doing okay with some of my darker spots, but I've got freckles and stuff like that, so nothing bad, but I do put that on a couple of spaces. And then this is my go-to cream, girls. This is it's actually lotion. Actually, it's gel. I didn't realize they called it gel now. Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel. And I use this twice a day, every day, when I remember to do my face at night. But this is what I put underneath my foundation every morning. I used to be able to use something they have called turnaround cream, and I loved that for years and years. But then when I went into started into menopause and stuff, my skin started to get drier. Y'all know about that. So I switched to this, and it is lovely. I will also put this on, like sometimes our elbows get a little dry, and I'll rub this on my elbows and kneecaps, things like that, just a little bit. And it really helps, with kind of those dry spots. So that's my routine, honey. And I do put a little something under my eyes sometimes, and this is all about eyes, I believe. I can't see it. But I will put that, just using these two fingers. When I put stuff around my eyes, I don't like rub this way. I rub like this when I go to put anything on my eyes. And only with these two fingers, because somebody once told me that these put the least pressure on your eyes when you use those fingers. I don't know whether that's true, but I got in the habit of using those 2 fingers, and that's what I do. So that's what I do, Phyllis. No big deal. And that's when I remember to do it. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think my mama, bless her heart, I think I got my good skin from her. I was never one to have a lot of pimples or skin problems as a young lady. You know, I was really lucky with that, and I usually had pretty clear skin. But, you know, I'm starting to show my age, I think, a little bit more. So, anyway, that's it, Miss Phyllis. Hopefully that answered your question, honey. And I thankfully remembered to answer it this time. All right, number 14. See Rebecca 1944. Hey, girl. Do you keep the white single light in each window on the front of your house year-round? I sure do. Not only year-round, but night-round too. Day and night. Those lights are on. I have one single white light in each window on the front of the house. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 windows on the front of this house. And we even had what's called a holiday light package put in this house when we moved in here. The builder put it in, so I can turn all of these lights out with one switch. They're all ganged together on one switch. And I love the different stories and the sentiments that go behind these, you know, the stories that go behind these lights, having a light in the window. We live in a very Civil War rich area here in Spotsylvania. A lot of Civil War battles took place right around us here. And one school of thought is that wives, mothers of soldiers would always leave one single candle burning in the window so that their soldier could find their way home. And I love that school of thought. I always thought that was a wonderful thing. And then there's another school of thought. There's many schools of thought. The two that I choose to kind of grab a hold of and really like are that one about the soldiers, and then it's also a sign of friendship and welcoming. So I always want folks to feel welcome when they're invited to come, you know. And so that's it. Yes, they stay on day and night. I find if I turn them out, like at night, if I turn them out and then turn them on the next morning, I go through light bulbs really fast. So I just, okie dokie, sorry about that, got a phone call. It was Kristen this time. And I leave my phone so I can get phone calls, you guys. You know, I have to. I have to be able to get phone calls from my family. And they're pretty much the only ones that call me, you know. And if I don't know the number, I don't pick it up. But, you know, of course, I've got to pick up to my family. So, anyway, all right. Number 15, and you guys, I don't know who asked me this question. So if you were the one to ask me this question, please tell me. I was the one that asked the question about the pip berries. I don't know why I didn't copy and paste your name over here, but I didn't. But it is, I have a question for you. I had never seen or heard of pip berries before watching your videos, and I just love them now. But how and when did you first find them and start using them in your decor? Believe it or not, it wasn't until we got into this house. And remember I showed you the burlap in last week's Q&A video that I had coming down this, on the banister coming down the staircase? I all of a sudden said, I want to have something hanging on that staircase that I can light up, because I think it would be really pretty to have something subtly lit coming down that banister, since that staircase is out in the family room and very prominent in the house, you know. So that's when Chris and I were both sitting and searching for something, and one of us, I don't know which one of us, to be honest with you, I do not remember, saw the pipberry in the pipberry barn. We found them, and pipberry garlands, and we found them, and we ordered up enough pipberry garlands to go down the staircase. And then we went to, I want to say Factory Direct Craft or one of those, and ordered 100 sets of brown corded lights. And when they came, we wrapped them around, and Chris cable wrapped them together. That is one big unit of pipberry garlands coming down the steps. And he always marks where the at the swag points, where the swag points go, and it was quite the little production. But that's what started me on pipberries. So then I had a desire to pull the pipberries away, you know, idea into the rest of the decor to pull a room together, you know, and to pull, well, as you see, they end up in a lot of my design lanterns, and that's right after that is where when I came up with, you know, building my lantern decors in trays, you know, and using the Behr garland as a base for my lantern centerpieces and so on and so forth. So when we moved into this house, so like 4 or 5 years ago, this hasn't been always been in my design, in my decor, you know, when we lived in the other house, just in this house. So that's how we started with the pip berries. All right, whoever you were, thank you for that question. That was a good one. Okay, number 16, Sherg12, and this was from Instagram. This was an Instagram question. I live in Utah and have so many opportunities to visit and explore a beautiful state. What natural monuments or state parks are around you to explore? Well, Virginia is rich in Civil War history, and we have a lot of battlefields and monuments and things like that. Just in Richmond, which is south of us here, have many monuments to the Civil War. One, I think, of Robert E. Lee is actually down there in Richmond, and we have many Civil War battlefields, many around here. Also, if you want to travel north of us, you can go to Pennsylvania and see more battlefields. Chris is coming in with information. We also have Jamestown. Thank you, honey. Which is down near Williamsburg. So, you know, we have a lot of, Virginia is very rich in history, very rich in history. A couple of things that Chris and I were standing here talking before I came back on to do this question. And we have the Marine Museum, which is right up the road from us in Quantico, Virginia. We have the National D-Day Museum in Bedford. We've never been to that, so we can't say whether that's good or not. And we also have Natural Bridge in it's south of Lexington, Virginia. So we have a lot of very rich history here in Virginia. Also, too, if you want to go north of us, you can go into D.C. and go to all of those monuments, the Holocaust Museum, the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, all of those up in D.C. Or Chris and I used to go to those as a child for our school trips. So I've been to D.C. many times, as has Chris, and rich in history. We live in an area rich in history over here on the East Coast. So I hope that answered your question. And you know me, I'm a history buff. So is Chris. Chris is a history buff. He's big on war history. He is, my goodness, he knows about ships and planes and battles and stuff I don't know about, but I drink up whenever he starts talking about it. I'm like, oh, I want to hear about that. So, all right, number 17. This is from one of my subbies that wrote me a letter, and I'm not going to shout you out, but you wrote me a beautiful letter, and I so appreciate it. And you did ask me a couple questions in that letter. One of which was, you never show us your bedroom and bath. Is that off limits? And really and truly, I don't care to show that too much. Honestly, again, full disclosure, I'm being honest with you guys. I don't think that that's something I enjoy sharing. It's decorated, and I have shared pictures of it before. May put a picture or two here. I did. Here. I did my my scarf video in our master bathroom, so you guys have seen the master bath, but you know, it is kind of off limits. I don't really like to talk about it or show it too much, so just being out there honest. And she said, I don't know if, she said, I do make a comment sometimes, she said, but I don't know if you get them because I don't get a comment back. I'm really sorry about that, honey. And she said this in the sweetest of ways, you guys. This was Oh my goodness, it was so sweet. I felt sorry for her because I hadn't gotten or she hadn't seen my responses. I try really, 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 really hard. It's very rare that I don't at least give you guys a heart. I try to go in and at least read everything and try to give you a heart to let you know that I've read it and see it and love it. And as a matter of fact, like this evening, it's Friday evening, and I did put up a video this morning, and I know I don't even know how many comments now. I did try to answer some this morning, and I will try through the weekend to, get back to some of you guys, or most of you guys, or all of you guys if I can. But if not, then if I haven't, know that I'm resting and that I need to take some time to rest a little bit, and that I do see your comments, love your comments, adore them. I'm maybe wondering if you haven't been seeing the notification that I've answered you back. Possibly that could be, maybe, because I really do. I really try to. And again, if I haven't, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry because I try really, really hard. I even go back sometimes and look at past videos just to scroll through the comments and make sure that I haven't missed any, and I'll throw a heart up there just to make sure you knew I saw it. So I'm very sensitive to that. I'm very, very sensitive to that, and I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. Never, ever, ever would I ever want to hurt anybody's feelings on purpose. Never. So if I've hurt your feelings by not answering, I'm really sorry. I certainly didn't mean to. It was an oversight on my part. I've got a lot of comments coming in now. My subbies are growing, you guys know, and I'm trying my best. I'm a team of one over here, other than Chris helps me with some of these questions sometimes. Especially when you guys ask him questions. He answers his own questions. Of course, I relay his answers, But I hope that answered your questions, honey. All right, let's see. Number 18, Glor854. Does Chris have the same decor taste as you, or has he requested something that you weren't all that crazy about but compromised on anyway? Honest to goodness, no. We are very like-minded in our taste, and we agree on pretty much the decor that you see. He's the one, as I've said before, that came up with the black scroll pieces. He found, and he's the one that put together the piece at the top of the steps. Actually, he figured out how to turn like two wrought iron pieces on one another, kind of have one right side up, and then he turned the other one upside down and brought them together. And he's the one that figured that out. So he and I worked together on this decor, and there's really nothing that either one of us have compromised on, honest and true. We agree. We picked out all the furniture together. We discussed the black hooker furniture. He found it, and we discussed it, and we decided, I was a little nervous, I will say, about the hooker furniture, all the black furniture in the kitchen and in the credenza and the hutch and table and chairs and desk. I was a little bit nervous about that at first, but Chris is much better with size and understanding how big this house kind of is, and that furniture, I felt like it might be too big. It is not. Well, you all have seen it. It fits perfectly in here, and that was his awesome mind figuring out that, yeah, this furniture is the scale we need it to be. We need it to be big furniture to fill the space, so I wouldn't call that a compromise, though. I trust him, and and he trusts me. I think that's a big thing too, that we trust each other's opinions and we respect each other's opinions, and we never argue about that kind of stuff or compromise or anything like that. So no, we're pretty much always in agreement, or if not, we discuss it and talk our way through it and see what we might like. Okay, I hope that answered your question, Lord. All right, number 19, Ellen Bryant. This was either a question from this morning or yesterday. I'm not quite sure, Ellen, when you put this up, but you were asking me about my heart necklace that I always wear. And I don't have it on today. I actually have a green necklace on that Chris gave me this necklace from, he bought it at Denali up in Alaska at the Princess Lodge up there, Princess Cruises Lodge up there. That's one, and I have the earrings to match. But this is the necklace I believe you're talking about. And I wear this a lot. I wear it like almost every day. And when I don't have my black necklace on, I have this one on, or this one. I usually try to wear something that somebody's given me. But this is it. This is from Brighton. And Kristen gave this to me, and she thought it looked like the big heart in the middle was me, and then the two little hearts are her and Candace. So that's why it's special to me. I wear it a lot. So again, it's from Brighton. And I have earrings to match. You'll see the heart earrings I wear with this all the time. So very important to me. I also have a bracelet that came, and y'all always ask me about my bracelets too, so I might as well go ahead and tell you while I'm talking about my jewelry here. Here's the bracelet that goes along with this one here. And then Chris gave me this when we were first married. I'm telling you, in our first year of marriage, probably, he gave me that little roped chain that it has a gold chain that wraps around it too. And then, let's see, Stacy gave me Alex and Annie. I love Alex and Annie. And I have two, one from the girls and one from the little doggy paw from Stace. And then this is a Brighton bangle that I got one day down in Williamsburg. I bought that myself. I brought that for myself. And those are the 5 I normally wear when I'm wearing like a shorter sleeve. When I have long sleeves on, I'll just wear Chris's and Kristen's. This, my 2. These are the 2 I wear. These 2 right here. I wear those every single day, no matter what I'm doing. I wear those. I put those on every single day. And then I add others to it. I love bracelets. I think bracelets are so pretty, you know, and they make me feel, you know, again, I'm going to say this one more time. Give a word of encouragement here about those of us who are in our 50s. I know 50s and 60s and 70s, and I know that's not all of you guys, but I know that that's a good percentage of you. Even you ladies in your 30s and 20s, and when you're working with your kids and dealing with kids and dirty diapers and chasing them around, and been there, girls, been there. But a lot of people ask me, do you get dressed every morning? Do you put your makeup on every morning? Do you do your hair every day? Do you dress nice every day? Do you do that every day? Why do you do that? You know why I do it? I do it for myself. You know, ladies, we get so wound up about everybody else in our lives, you know, and sometimes we forget about us. And you can't forget about you, because if you're not happy, I mean, that saying is true. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, you know. That's, somewhat true. I've never really gone for that, but it's kind of true. You know, if you're not happy within yourself and in your own skin, then you're not going to be positive and happy with anything else in your life or with anybody else. So I always try to do the best I can with what God gave me to work with, you know, and I am no small thing, and I struggle with my weight, and I work on it every day. I don't need diet tips or anything like that, so please don't do that. But I work with it every day. I get my nails done once a month. I only go once a month to get my nails done, and they're a hot mess when I go to get them done, but I refuse to pay for them for more than once a month. I get my hair colored once a month too, every 4 weeks. And I don't want to let it go gray quite yet. Not really because I'm vain. Yeah, I'm a little vain, but try not to be. But because my hair is really fine, as you can see, to begin with. And my gray hair, when it grows out, I can't do anything with it. It's a mess. Y'all have seen me when I need to get my hair colored. It's a hot mess. But every day, and I put my makeup on every day. I fix my hair every day, either put it up or curl it at the very least, do something with it. I put on a nice outfit. Even if I'm putting on a t-shirt, I still do my hair and makeup. I still do it and put some jewelry on, because it just, that little something can make you feel better. And when, as I said, when you feel better, you can make other people feel better. If you're feeling positive, positivity breeds positivity. Negativity breeds negativity. Being down in the dumps all the time and angry and grumpy all the time, that's going to make everything around you grumpy all the time. You know what I mean? Be happy as much as you can. We all have our trials and tribulations, girls. Put it in his hands and let it go and march on, you know? I love you guys so much. All right, I got one more question. My computer turned off on me in my sub camera. Okay. This is number 20, and this is from Joy C. When did you start collecting lanterns, and why? It was when we were building this house. That's when I started collecting lanterns. I knew that I wanted something to go above the kitchen cabinets out there. And I started to do research and by research, I mean just like looking at Pinterest a little bit, but then research in my own mind too. What would I like for up there? I went to some stores and looked around and tried to pick things. And, you know, I had my favorite things lists that lanterns is now on and was on before I moved into this house. But we can plug things in up above the cabinets, and I knew I wanted some decor up there. So I started collecting lanterns. I thought they would be pretty. I liked the idea of having something lit up there, and Chris did this after we moved in, but he put little transformers on every battery operated candle I have in those lanterns up there, and in turn all of those lanterns are plugged in and I can turn them all off with one switch. He won't let me tell you guys how he does that, other than he uses a little transformer, because he doesn't want to tell somebody that it might not work for you, so I can't give out that information. But that's how I started collecting lanterns. And then after that, I found it over in that store in Harrisonburg, Virginia. I found my first big lantern that I used for my kitchen table decor, and I figured out how to do it in the tray and build the decor around the tray, and all of that has started my love with lanterns. And they are, I would say, my signature piece. I do wreaths and, you know, cozy corners for sure. But if I had to pick something that I really came up with myself, it would be my lantern centerpieces and lantern decor. I love it. I love it. I think that it adds so much to a centerpiece, and anytime you put light with something in a decor and a piece of, you know, a table centerpiece or even on a candlestick, in some ways, it can just really bring warmth into a room. And I love warm lighting, and I love the feel that warm lighting can give to a whole room. So that's how my lanterns came to be. Thank you for that question. That's a good one. So I guess that's it. I did want to give one reminder about my P.O. box. I do have a P.O. box now, and it is Arlen's Country Craft Corner, and it's P.O. Box 2525, Spotsylvania, Spotsylvania, Virginia 22553. You're all welcome to write me, and I go out and check it a couple times a week. Usually we try to run out there and check it. So like I said, keep the questions coming. If you want me to do this every Monday, I'll be glad to do it. I will, like I said, I'm going to have to take 1 week off coming up, but other than that, I'll do it every week if y'all want me to. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy letting you get to know me a little bit better, and I get to know you a little bit better in conversation that we have after these little Q&As go up. So thank y'all so much. Let me take a moment to welcome all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys stopping in and hitting that button. I never ask for subscribers, but I sure appreciate you being here. One thing I will say, if you do want to be sure to hear or see when I put up a new video, be sure to hit the bell. But I very rarely say that either. I just, you know, I figure if you guys want to subscribe, you'll subscribe, and it tells you to hit the bell, and you'll hit the bell. You know, I appreciate every single one of you. I've only been on YouTube for about a year and 4 months, 3 or 4 months, and it has been a blessing. And you all have blessed my life. Every single one of you have blessed my life. Anyway, I'm going to close this one out. Again, I have no clue, because Kristen called me. I have no clue how long I've gone. Probably an hour, I would say. But I love doing these. I just absolutely love them, and I love all of you. And again, thank you so much for all of your questions, and I hope y'all don't mind me being honest, because I'm honest and straightforward and full disclosure in these things. So I will be back Wednesday with my next episode 3 in my Easter decor series. And I'm not sure what that is yet, because I haven't done it. So, you know, we'll get to it next week, and we'll continue on with that. And then I'll record my next Q&A next Friday. Right now, I haven't seen any questions that have come in from about 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon on. So anything that, if anybody has put up questions I may not have seen them. I did scroll through your responses real quick on my latest video before I sat down to do this. That's when I found Joy's about the lanterns and was able to answer that one today. But I will scroll through them again and make sure that I haven't missed any and go ahead and put them right on my Q&A list for next week. So anyway, I'm gonna hush up and just say, I hope there's nothing that's nagging at you and pulling your attention away from where you want to put your attention or where it should be. I hope your health is going along as it should and that all is well with everyone. And I'll just say, until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.